In the cold fall of 1942, amidst the shattered ruins of Stalingrad, one of the most dramatic and fateful duels in the history of warfare took place. It wasn't the thunderous roar of artillery that tore the air apart, but the deadly silence that hung over the rubble as two snipers engaged in a fierce battle. On one side stood Vasily Zaitsev, the Soviet hunter, and on the other side, a mysterious German sniper, whose true identity over the years became more and more of a legend, Major Erwin Koenig. In August 1942, Zaitsev, then an unknown soldier, began to traverse the rubble of Stalingrad, armed with nothing but a Mosin Nagant rifle and his keen eye. But this was just the beginning of an epic adventure that would not only make him one of the most successful snipers of World War II, but also a symbol of resistance. Zaitsev, who had grown up in a remote village in the Urals, had learned hunting from his grandfather, who taught him how to shoot precisely with a single-shot rifle and read tracks. This experience proved crucial when he joined the Soviet Army in 1941, shortly after Germany's invasion of the Soviet Union. By 1942, Zaitsev found himself in Stalingrad, the crucial front line that secured the survival of the Soviet Union. Here, he fought side by side with thousands of other soldiers while the city lay under constant German assault. Stalingrad was no ordinary city. With its strategic location along the Volga River and as an industrial center, it was invaluable for the war effort. It was also the target of the Germans as part of Operation Blau, which aimed to strike at the heart of Soviet territory. The brutal battles that tore through the streets and ruins marked the beginning of a new era of warfare for Zaitsev, one where snipers would play a key role. After months of bloody fighting, Zaitsev became a symbol of resistance, but his real test was yet to come. In late October 1942, the true conflict began between him and one of the best snipers in the Wehrmacht, a man whom Soviet troops only knew as Koenig. According to reports from a captured German soldier, the German High Command had set its sights on the hunter, Zaitsev, and sent one of their own elite snipers to Stalingrad to eliminate him. When Zaitsev first heard about this sniper, he was skeptical, but his doubts grew when, on November 1st, his comrades Morozov and Shaikin encountered a German sniper on the battlefield. One of them was severely wounded, and the other nearly lost his life when a well-placed shot destroyed the scope of his rifle. Zaitsev immediately realized that the legendary German sniper, Koenig, had begun his killing spree that day. On November 2nd, the fate of Zaitsev and Koenig would be decided. Zaitsev, accompanied by his best student, Sergeant Nikolai Kulikov, headed to the area where his comrades had encountered the German sniper the day before. The two lay in wait, hidden and alert. The day passed without any sign, but as darkness fell, Zaitsev sensed that the enemy had become restless. He knew that Koenig was an experienced and patient hunter, ready to wait for days to find his target. The next morning, as the sun stood at the backs of the Soviet snipers, it happened. Kulikov lifted his helmet and tried to draw the attention of the German sniper. It was a distraction, and it worked. The German sniper cautiously poked his head out of cover, thinking Zaitsev was the one firing. A quick, precise shot from Zaitsev's Mosin Nagant, and the German sniper's head fell back. Koenig had been revealed. But Zaitsev knew the fight was not over. For the next few hours, he and Kulikov continued to observe the terrain, planning their next move. A strategic plan was in place to finally expose Koenig. Zaitsev instructed Kulikov to move to a specific point on the terrain, exactly where the German sniper had his hiding place. But the enemy was still elusive and continued to move through the rubble. On November 5th, the decisive day of the duel, Zaitsev and Kulikov set out again. The area was mined, and the sky was overcast, making the enemy even more cautious. But Zaitsev had a plan. He had the target in sight and was ready to neutralize it. The two snipers moved cautiously, keeping a close watch on their surroundings. Eventually, they noticed a tiny clue, a piece of sheet metal and bricks that looked out of place in the surroundings. Zaitsev was convinced the German sniper had to be there. With a distraction, Zaitsev had Kulikov lift his helmet and pretend to cry. The German sniper, now fully excited, stuck his head out just for a moment. Zaitsev seized the opportunity and pulled the trigger. The head of the German sniper fell back. The duel was over. Zaitsev and Kulikov crawled cautiously to the spot where they had suspected the German sniper. They found the lifeless body, gathered his equipment, and brought it back to headquarters. Colonel Batyuk, who knew of their success, confirmed that the fallen sniper was none other than Major Koenig. But the truth behind Koenig was more complicated. Historical records and research show that Major Koenig, as a person in the Wehrmacht, never actually existed. Soviet propaganda likely created this mysterious sniper to fuel the legend. Despite these inconsistencies, the duel between Zaitsev and the German sniper remains a pivotal moment in history. Zaitsev, with his Mosin Nagant and unparalleled precision, sealed the fate of countless German soldiers, becoming one of the most successful snipers of World War II. With a total of 235 confirmed kills, including 11 enemy snipers, he became one of the most outstanding figures in the history of the war. Zaitsev's opponent, the German sniper, remains a mystery to this day. While there are many theories, it is likely that the man who fought against Zaitsev was actually Gefreiter Hermann Stoff, the top sniper of the 295th Infantry Division of the Wehrmacht, who in November 1942 had achieved an impressive 103 kills. Whether he was the famous Major Koenig or not remains a mystery. The role of snipers in Stalingrad, however, was not just a tactical tool, but a decisive factor in the outcome of the battle. With over 30,000 German soldiers killed by Soviet snipers during the entire battle, the German war machine was significantly weakened, contributing to the eventual defeat. The name Zaitsev will forever be linked to the defense of Stalingrad and the legendary sniper duel. Even years after the war, the memory of the snipers of Stalingrad remains vivid, as they fought not only against German troops, but also against death and hopelessness that loomed over them. What do you think about the duel between Zaitsev and his mysterious counterpart? Write your opinion in the comments, leave a like if you enjoyed the story, and subscribe to our channel for more insights into the most fascinating chapters of military history.